Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're bringing you Fairy Tail chapter 509, Kaguya versus Rakhied drank Neo. Before getting into that, no 7 Deadly Sins. I was so looking forward to it. I had forgotten that 7 Deadly Sins was on break. And I saw Fairy Tail come out when I was at work, and I was like, yeah, I'll wait, and 7 Deadly Sins will come out, I'll read it on the way home or when I get home. And then I remembered. Probably the worst thing I could remember was the fact that it was off. So yeah, no 7 Deadly Sins, we have got Fairy Tail. I haven't done the Red Sprite review because not a lot actually happens. So I'll just do that whenever the next one comes out as a double bill, and I'll do a catch-up video on Promised Neverland. So this will be a 4-point review. Typically I do 5, but there's not really a lot to discuss. But without further ado, let's get into this. Now, with point number 1, it's more to do with August and Orasian Seas or Grim Sorcery. Basically, they're down. The only one on a few that seems to be conscious is Jalal, Midnight, and Cobra. The rest seem to be out. It's interesting because he looked like he was wiping the floor with them last time around. I thought they were affected by the beam attack from Rakhied, but they didn't really seem to acknowledge that too much. They seem to go back to the idea that August wiped the floor with them. Then there was more of a philosophical idea because they were talking about how Jalal was in the past, seeing the light, and then explaining the idea that Rahid was their son, and even though his ability is light, it's still technically he's a bad dude because he's kind of like lost his mind. So it was interesting, more of a philosophical debate, but it shows August is a beast. He's not really even trying, but at the same time he's giving them help, and it looks like Jalal is motivated. I really want to see what Jalal can do. But the problem you find is, how do you scale these people and find a honest defeat for them, for the good guys to win when you've made August so OP? Because the idea, they mention it again later in this chapter, Eileen, August and Rakhied are meant to be next level. They're meant to be around about the low gear level, and Rakhied's meant to be, that level. The only thing that's meant to be better than both of them is meant to be one magic. Or Mavis is magic. So it's interesting, but it's a kind of a problem when you build somebody up so much. How do you then defeat them? And I think that's a problem that Oda's gonna have, or he said reported to be having with Luffy defeating Kaido. But that's a topic for a different day. Anyway, point number 1, August kicks ass and gives us a nice speech. Point number 2. Rakhied's dynamic. So we get told, much like he tells people, other people are telling people that yes, Rahid is Zaref's son, his one and only son, but he doesn't know love because Zaref probably didn't want to kill him, and he's jealous of Natsu because other than Mavis, Natsu was the only thing he really loved. Zaref, he loved his younger brother. So I guess that's one of the issues with Uncle Natsu, I guess. And there's like the whole thing where people have realized they're related, and it's a bit of a weird dynamic to be related to the ultimate bad guy and his demon devil spawn. But it's interesting that he's got such a powerful kid, but who's the mama? We'll get to that in a second, but move on to point number 3, Kaguya and the fight itself. Point number 3, the fight itself. The fight itself, to be fair, isn't bad, but it isn't that good. To really summarize the fight, I'm gonna do my attack that makes you feel pleasure and pain. I'm gonna bite my tongue. I feel pain. I'm gonna hit you. Oh, wait a minute, you can stop your attacks with your hand, and then you get your ass kicked. So it was pretty much a case of, I think this was to show you that as good as Kaguya is, at this point she needs to find a way to win using this, not this. So what I mean by that is, there's too much emphasis on being a brute and using raw strength to win every battle, getting all super emotional and winning fights. And I think again re-emphasizes the point where you can't always do that. and you need to be strategic. Same thing they did with Azil or Ajil, where Erza was fighting him and they shot him with a cannon. The same kind of thing. The idea is you need to use logic and strategy, and that's what it is. It was cool though that Rakhied stopped Kaguya's attack with just his hand. It made me think of old school Bleach with you know, when Ichigo does some ass kicking to Aizen with his hand. He stops stuff with his hand. That was awesome. Now the problem you have with it is much like the same thing with August, is how do you beat him? We get told how he's going to get beaten. The only person, if they can beat them, is his mother. Which leads us to the next point. Who is his mother? The last panel shows Mavis. Moving on to point number 4. So, point number 4. Who is his mama? They show Mavis, like Mavis is meant to be his mama. But how the hell is Mavis his mama? Because Mavis kissed Zeref and like fell into a coma. So this is where normal people that like to get angry and upset and get their panties in a bunch and scrunch and everything else and have a bad day will call BS. I should call BS, but I know better. I'd rather just wait and find out. Now granted, if they not somehow make it that he's also immortal and he's her son, it would be weird. Weird. It really would be. The only thing that would make sense was it was some type of immaculate conception, some type of bioengineered, I got your DNA, I got my DNA, put it together, put it in some sheep called Nessie, and call it a day. If it was something like that and there's some science behind it, fair enough. You have to understand though, Zeref brought Natsu back from death, using ether nano, ethereous kind of particles, right? He would give him life. I'm sure he could do that with someone else. How the whole life system works, I don't know. There will be an explanation. I'll wait before I'll call BS on it, because it don't make no sense right now. It's probably not going to make sense till we get all the information, and we're going to have to wait on it. I'm not going to be one of those guys that jumps to conclusions and, you know, blah blah blah, and then have to apologize about it later on. Let's just watch, read, find out what's going on, and then we can make judgment. If it's crap, I'll say it's crap, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's pretty much all for my review. I'm not going to really speculate on much more because we didn't have much information to go off. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Share it with your friends. If it adds value, pass it on to them. If you haven't got an account and you don't want to create an account just to subscribe, just continue watching, showing your support. Comment if you want to comment if you can comment. If you want to comment on Reddit when I normally post, please also do that. But I'll see you next time. Peace.